Welcome back, everybody. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for today's explainer. Look, today we're tackling a single piece of source material, and honestly, it's as brief as it is powerful. It has this massive, provocative question that kind of forces us to look in the mirror, evaluate our current financial trajectory, and measure it against a highly specific benchmark. On the surface, it sounds like a simple question, but answering it properly means we've got to look at the hard, objective math behind our investments. We're going to break down exactly what it actually takes to hit this kind of massive milestone.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We're starting with Section 1, the ultimate financial question, deconstructing the milestone. So are you on track to becoming a multimillionaire? Just take a second and let that sink in. We aren't just talking about reaching some baseline level of comfort here, right? The source material very intentionally uses the word multimillionaire. It completely demands that we elevate our thinking way past basic financial security, straight into the realm of profound generational wealth. It literally asks you to look at your daily habits, your asset allocation, your savings rate, and your entire mindset and ask, are they truly calibrated for a destination of that magnitude? Are you simply saving? Are you aggressively building a portfolio that's fundamentally designed to multiply?
All right, let's see how this builds. Moving on to Section 2, the 2026 timeline. The clock is ticking. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the specific framing of the 2026 edition. This is exactly where the source material takes this distant, hazy dream of wealth and just snaps it right into near-term reality. Think about it. 2026 isn't some abstract future a decade or two away. It is quite literally right around the corner. By attaching this highly specific date, the source injects an extreme sense of urgency into the whole equation. It completely removes that cozy luxury of saying, oh, I'll get to it someday. It forces us to ask a really difficult question. Are the financial mechanisms you have in place right now operating with enough velocity and compound growth to actually hit this massive target by a date that is already staring us in the face? You really can't just stumble your way into this time frame. You've got to engineer it.
And that brings us inward to Section 3. Are you on track? Assessing your trajectory.
And this brilliantly illustrates the harsh, binary reality hidden right inside that source question. Over on the left, we've got on track. And on the right, well, the implied alternative of completely missing the mark. Being on track implies a defined route with measurable, concrete progress. It's a mathematical equation. Actually, this is exactly why young investors relentlessly seek out a 10% annual return. It's no coincidence. That's the historical average of the S&P 500. They use that exact 10% benchmark as the fundamental engine to compound their wealth over time. They are just guessing. They are calculating. If you truly want to reach multimillionaire status, you absolutely need your money working at that kind of optimized rate. The sheer brilliance of isolating the words on track is that it demands absolute honesty from us. You either have an investment strategy that's mathematically targeting the yields required to reach multi-millions, or you're on the alternative trajectory. There's really no middle ground here, guys. You are either compounding your way towards the goal or you're falling short.
So what does this all mean? The crucial point is exactly this. Are you on track to becoming a multimillionaire? 2026 edition? We return to the exact phrase provided by the source, in its entirety. We've deconstructed the massive scale of the ambition, the intense pressure of the timeline, and the brutal mathematical honesty. Like targeting those specific 10% investment returns and really understanding how compounding works, which are absolutely required to honestly assess your own trajectory. As we wrap up this explainer, I really challenge you to confront this question head-on. Seriously, take a look at your numbers. Look at your asset allocation. Don't just read the words on the screen, actually sit down and calculate the answer. Because the 2026 edition of your life is arriving, whether your portfolio is actually on track for it or not. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those hard questions and keep learning.